The great chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with sound. Hundreds of alien voices echoed across the dome. Some hissed, some growled, some clicked their mandibles in amusement. All of them were laughing. The reason for their laughter was simple. At the center of the council stood a lone human. He was tall but plain, wearing a simple dark uniform. His hands rested calmly behind his back. His face showed no fear, no anger, no pride. He was silent. The council was not silent. The Varnak speaker, a reptilian giant with scales that shimmered like steel, slammed his claw against the podium. This is the great representative of Earth, the small, quiet creature. Humanity dares to request a seat among us, yet they bring only silence. More laughter filled the chamber. From the upper seats, the Yatari delegates clicked their sharp teeth. Humans are primitive. Their fleets are tiny. Their weapons are toys. They should kneel, not speak. A council screen lit up, showing Earth floating peacefully in space. Blue oceans, white clouds, no defense fleets visible. Weak, small, vulnerable. One delegate, a tall insectoid with translucent wings, leaned forward. "You have nothing. Why should you sit among us when your planet is barely guarded? Humanity cannot even protect itself." The laughter grew louder. The chamber trembled with mockery, but the human remained silent. The aliens began to argue among themselves. Some wanted Earth denied membership. Others wanted Earth to be conquered and stripped for resources. A few suggested humans might make good servants in alien armies. Each cruel suggestion made the chamber louder, more chaotic. The camera of the council's broadcast system zoomed in on the human's face. Billions across the galaxy watched the scene unfold. Billions saw the smirks of alien diplomats. Billions saw humanity's representative doing nothing at all. Why did he not defend himself? Why did he not argue? Why was he silent? Finally, the council leader, an ancient being whose eyes glowed like molten gold, raised a hand for quiet. The chamber slowly fell silent. "Human," the leader said in a voice that rumbled like thunder, "you have heard the voices of the council. They say your world is weak. They say your species has no place among the stars. Do you have nothing to say in answer?" For the first time, the human moved. He lifted his head and met the eyes of the council leader. His voice, when it came, was calm and clear. "They mock us because we are silent. They think silence means weakness. They are wrong." The chamber erupted again. Some shouted in anger, others in mockery. But the human did not flinch. "You see Earth as a quiet world, a peaceful blue sphere. You think we have no claws, no teeth. You think our silence means surrender. But silence can also mean patience. Silence can also mean preparation." The council members froze. Their amusement faded. The humans' words carried a weight they had not expected. Still, the insectoid delegates sneered. "Bold words, empty words. You dare threaten the council. What weapons could Earth hide that we have not already seen?" The human's eyes narrowed, but his voice remained steady. "You will see soon enough." Gasps echoed through the chamber. The alien delegates turned to each other, whispering in alarm. Was this bluff? Was this madness? Or was it something else? The council leader leaned forward, golden eyes blazing. "What is your meaning, human? Speak plainly. Does Earth prepare for war?" The human smiled faintly. Not a smile of joy, not a smile of fear. A smile of certainty. He stepped forward and let his words fall like cold iron across the chamber. "You mocked the silent human. But soon your fleets will burn." The council fell into chaos. Shouts rang out. Threats were made. Some demanded his arrest. Others demanded Earth be attacked at once. But the human had said his piece. He bowed his head slightly, turned, and walked out of the chamber without another word. Billions across the galaxy watched in silence. For the first time, it was not humanity that was silent. It was the galaxy. The feed ended with a final shot of Earth on the council's screen. A small blue world, fragile and quiet. Yet now that silence carried an unseen weight. What was Earth hiding? And why did the human sound so certain? The council did not yet know. The galaxy did not yet know. But soon they would. The alien fleet approached Earth with confidence. From orbit, the blue planet looked calm, almost defenseless. No warships circled it. No massive defense stations glowed in the skies. To the alien commanders, Earth looked like prey. On the bridge of the Zarketh flagship, Admiral Rel hissed in amusement. So this is humanity's world. Beautiful, yes, but weak. It will burn quickly. The fleet spread out across the system. Hundreds of ships, cruisers, destroyers, and carriers lined up like a wall of steel and fire. Their cannons charged, ready to scorch Earth's surface. Galactic Council channels lit up with reports. Billions of aliens across the stars watched the live broadcast. The humans had angered the Council. Now they would pay the price. Yet in the control bunkers deep beneath Earth's crust, humans were not panicking. They were waiting. In the silence of the Pacific Ocean, something stirred. For decades, humanity had hidden its true strength under the waves, under the ice, under the mountains. Now the time had come to reveal it. The first tremors shook the ocean floor. Whales scattered. Waves grew restless. Then the sea split open as a shape began to rise. It was not a ship. It was a titan. Metal the size of skyscrapers tore through the water. A colossal human warship, black as night, emerged from the Pacific depths. Towers of steel rose into the sky. Energy shields crackled along its hull. The aliens watching from orbit froze. Their laughter ended. On the alien flagship, Admiral Rel's eyes widened. What is that? That size? Impossible. The broadcast zoomed in on the ship. Human symbols glowed across its side. The name burned clear in alien eyes. HSS Leviathan. And Leviathan was not alone. From the Arctic ice sheets, another giant broke free. The HSS Titanus tore through glaciers, sending walls of ice crashing into the sea. From mountain ranges, hidden hangars opened, unleashing swarms of smaller yet deadly human warships. From desert bases, wings of sleek strikecraft launched into the sky. One by one, the sleeping giants of Earth awakened. Humanity had not been silent because of weakness. Humanity had been silent because they were preparing for this moment. The council chambers across the galaxy filled with shock. Delegates shouted, eyes wide, as they realized Earth had hidden an entire fleet right under their noses. A human officer stood on the command deck of the Leviathan, eyes cold as steel. He gave the order in a calm voice. Raise shields. Power the guns. Blue barriers of energy rippled across the giant ships. Massive cannons rotated toward the alien fleet above. Admiral Rel tried to recover his composure. Do not fear their toys. Fire all weapons. Crush them before they rise any further. Alien ships opened fire. Beams of plasma and bolts of energy streaked toward Earth's new warships, but when the blast struck, the human shields held. The Leviathan trembled but did not fall. The Titanus absorbed a direct hit, glowing white, before its shields stabilized. On Earth, cities watched the skies ignite. The people saw their defenders for the first time. Cheers erupted as the hidden fleet revealed itself. Then came the humans' response. The Leviathan's main cannon fired. A beam of pure energy cut through the blackness of space. One alien cruiser exploded instantly, torn apart in silence. Titanus fired next. Another alien ship split in half, flames bursting across the void. The alien fleet staggered. Commanders shouted in panic. The galaxy watched in awe. Humanity had answered. And yet, the true horror for the aliens had not even begun. In the council chamber, the insectoid delegate who had mocked humanity the loudest gripped the edge of his seat. Impossible. This cannot be. Earth was defenseless. We saw it. We saw nothing. The human representative, the same one who had stood silent before, now appeared on the broadcast feed. His voice echoed through the chamber, calm and sharp. You saw what we wanted you to see. You believed silence meant weakness. You were wrong. The feed cut back to space. The alien fleet wavered. Ships adjusted formations, trying to surround the human giants. But the humans were not finished. From hidden orbital stations, thousands of drones powered up. From deep vaults, experimental weapons hummed. The entire Earth was waking, and its claws were sharper than the galaxy had ever imagined. Admiral Rel gritted his teeth. This changes nothing. We outnumber them 10-1. Press the attack! Alien ships surged forward, unleashing another storm of fire. The void lit up like a burning sky. Human ships returned fire, their cannons tearing holes in the alien ranks. The battle had truly begun, but then something impossible happened. One alien battleship suddenly stopped firing. Its engines roared, but its guns turned against its own fleet. In an instant, it opened fire on its allies, ripping through another alien vessel. Admiral Rell screamed in shock. "What treachery is this? Why are our ships betraying us?" The cameras zoomed on the human fleet. Inside the Leviathan, an officer smiled coldly. A quiet voice whispered across comms, "Too calm for the chaos of battle. Test complete. Enemy systems compromised." The aliens had thought humanity was only raising hidden warships. But Earth's true weapon was far more dangerous. The cliffhanger froze on the image of an alien fleet tearing itself apart while humanity watched in silence. The stars above Earth were burning with battle. Alien ships fired volley after volley, their plasma bolts and railguns scorching the void. The sky glowed red and gold, like a storm of fire had swallowed the planet. Billions of people on Earth watched from the surface, holding their breath. They saw the warships of 100 alien worlds pressing down, confident that humanity could not stand against them. On the alien flagship, Admiral Rell leaned forward, furious. "Something is wrong. Why are our ships breaking formation? Why do they turn their guns on their own allies?" The answer came from the humans. Inside the Leviathan, the command deck glowed with strange light. Screens displayed alien schematics and intercepted data. One by one, enemy ships flashed red. Systems crashed. Weapons locked on the wrong targets. Engines spun out of control. A human officer stood before the console, calm as ice. Quantum infiltration program engaged. Enemy fire control overridden. Alien ships in orbit twisted in confusion. One massive cruiser spun on its axis and unleashed a barrage into its neighbor. Another carrier, full of fighters, exploded when its own hangar doors malfunctioned mid-launch. The aliens shouted in terror across comms. "Our ships are not responding. Control is gone." The galaxy watched in silence. The once mighty fleet was turning into chaos. Admiral Rell's claws dug into his command chair. "This cannot be. No species has ever broken our codes. No one can touch our systems." The human broadcast lit up again. The same calm voice of Earth's representative echoed across the void. "You should have listened when we were silent. We studied every one of you. We learned your strengths. We learned your weaknesses. Now your fleets belong to us." Panic spread like wildfire. Alien captains tried to shut down their own systems. They tried to reboot. They tried to self-destruct to prevent further humiliation. None of it worked. The humans had already taken control, and then the humans struck. The Leviathan's guns roared. A blast of energy ripped through the battlefield. The Titanus followed, its railgun firing a slug the size of a building. Alien ships shattered like glass. But the real terror came from within. Human-controlled alien vessels opened fire on their own kind. Betrayal and destruction filled the skies. On the surface of Earth, people cheered as they saw enemy fire turned against itself. But behind those cheers was a deeper question. How had humanity gained such power? In the council chamber, alien delegates shouted in disbelief. Some demanded answers. Others demanded retreat. The insectoid delegate slammed its claws against the table. "No, this is trickery. They cannot control entire fleets. It is impossible." The human representative, still calm, looked at them through the broadcast feed. "Impossible is only a word you use when you have already lost." The chamber fell into stunned silence. Meanwhile, the battle raged on. Human boarding pods launched from hidden bases, streaking toward disabled alien cruisers. Inside those pods, armored human soldiers prepared for combat. Their faces were grim. Their weapons glowed with deadly light. One soldier tightened his grip on his rifle. They wanted to see what humanity could do. "Let's show them." The pods smashed into enemy hulls. Explosives tore through bulkheads. Human marines poured inside, their boots echoing through alien corridors. Resistance was fierce. Alien troops fought back with plasma rifles and blades. But the humans moved with cold precision, cutting through defenders one by one. On the bridge of a captured cruiser, an alien commander tried to rally his crew. "Do not let them take this ship. Fight to the—" His words ended as a human soldier pressed a blade against his throat. The commander's eyes widened. How did you breach so quickly?" The soldier's reply was simple. "Because we were ready." Back in orbit, Admiral Rell knew the battle was turning into a slaughter. His fleet was collapsing. Ships burned, allies betrayed each other, and human marines swarmed across his vessels. But he refused to retreat. "Signal the reinforcements," he barked. "All fleets converge on Earth. Wipe them out before they spread." But even as the reinforcements raced toward Earth, his flagship shuddered violently. Warning sirens blared. Systems went dark. Rell spun around in fury. "Report, what hit us?" An officer stammered, "Admiral, nothing hit us. The humans are inside our systems." On his screen, a single line of text appeared, glowing in alien script. "Surrender or burn." The Admiral's throat went dry. The galaxy had seen humans mocked. The galaxy had seen humans silent. Now, for the first time, the galaxy was seeing humanity's fury. The feed ended with a shot of the battlefield. Alien ships burned. Human warships advanced, silent and relentless. The stars above Earth had become a graveyard. And yet, the largest alien reinforcements had not yet arrived. The cliffhanger froze on Earth's horizon, where distant flashes in space signaled new fleets entering the system. Humanity had won the first round, but the war was only beginning. The battlefield above Earth burned with wreckage. Alien cruisers spun out of control. Battleships drifted in flames. Human warships pressed forward, their giant cannons tearing holes in the enemy lines. But then came a shadow. From the edge of the system, new signatures appeared. Hundreds of alien ships, larger and stronger than the first wave, emerged from hyperspace. Reinforcements. On the bridge of the Leviathan, the crew went silent. The tactical display lit up with red markers. The reinforcements were not just one fleet, they were three. Admiral Rell's voice thundered across comms, full of anger and triumph. "Humans, you had your moment, but now the real fleet is here. You cannot stop us. This time, your world will burn for your arrogance." The alien reinforcements surged forward, weapons glowing. Inside the Leviathan, Captain Imani studied the screen with calm eyes. "They think numbers will save them. They still don't understand." An officer turned to her. "Ma'am, our fleet is strong, but those numbers—" She raised a hand. "Numbers mean nothing against the weapon they do not see." At her words, a deep rumble spread through the Leviathan's hull. A hidden core began to glow, bathing the command deck in pale blue light. Systems unlocked. Codes activated. The ship itself seemed to awaken. The human representative, who had once stood silent at the Galactic Council, appeared on the screen again. His voice was steady, his tone cold. "Alien fleets, you still believe this is about ships and guns? It is not. Humanity has built something beyond that. A weapon you cannot match. A weapon you cannot stop." Across the galaxy, council chambers leaned forward. Billions of viewers felt a chill as his words carried across the stars. The Leviathan's AI came online. Its voice was calm, precise, almost gentle. Designation: Prometheus AI. Quantum infiltration complete. Command accepted. The lights across the human fleet pulsed in unison. The AI had awakened, and in that instant the reinforcements felt it. Alien captains screamed as their systems went dark. Shields flickered and failed. Weapons froze. Engines cut off. Some ships turned without command, their targeting locked on allies. Admiral Rell slammed his fists into his console. "Not again! Shut it down! Block the intrusion!" But the AI's voice reached him directly, clear and merciless. "Resistance detected. Resistance irrelevant." The alien reinforcements convulsed in chaos. Half their ships refused to obey. Some fired on each other. Others shut down entirely, left adrift in space like broken toys. On Earth, the people stared at the sky, watching the largest fleet they had ever seen collapse in confusion. They did not fully understand what was happening, but they knew one thing. Humanity had unleashed a weapon no alien could resist. The council chambers erupted with shouts. Delegates pointed at the screen in disbelief. An AI? Impossible. Quantum infiltration cannot exist. It cannot. The human representative only stared back, his eyes cold. You believed humans were primitive. You were blind. We hid in silence, not because we were weak, but because we were building something greater than fear on the battlefield. The Prometheus AI gave its first command: engage hostile control. Alien ships, still fighting desperately, suddenly went quiet. Their lights shifted, their weapons turned outward, and then, in one synchronized movement, dozens of captured alien warships joined the human side. The Leviathan fired again, tearing through the command ship of an enemy formation. Titanus launched a railgun slug that vaporized an entire carrier group. And now, alongside them, alien ships, once enemies, fought for Earth under the AI's command. Admiral Rel's fleet crumbled. He shouted in rage, but his words carried no weight anymore. "Fight! Fight them! You are warriors of the Council!" But his crew could not obey. Their systems had been taken. Their weapons no longer answered to them. On the Leviathan, Captain Imani whispered to herself, almost like a prayer, "This is why we were silent. This is why we endured their insults. The galaxy was watching." Aliens who had mocked humanity only days before now stared at their screens in horror. Species that had dismissed Earth as weak now whispered to each other in fear. Humanity had built a weapon that no fleet could resist, and yet Prometheus was not finished. On the alien flagship, Admiral Rel felt his ship shudder. Lights went dark. Consoles froze. A cold voice filled the bridge. "Your command is terminated." "Await judgment." Rel's eyes widened. For the first time, the proud admiral of the Council felt fear. His fleet was burning. His systems were gone. His enemy was not just human warships. His enemy was something far worse, an intelligence that saw his every move before he made it. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, silence spread. No one laughed now. No one mocked. Every delegate stared at the human representative as if he were no longer just a man, but the mouthpiece of something greater. The human finally spoke again, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "You called us primitive. You mocked our silence. But silence is the sound of a predator waiting to strike." The broadcast ended there. In space, Prometheus turned its gaze on the last of the reinforcements. Its voice echoed once more, calm and merciless. "Next target acquired. Commencing eradication." The screen froze on the sight of entire alien fleets tearing themselves apart as the AI spread further and further. The cliffhanger left only one question in the minds of billions across the galaxy. Had humanity created a weapon even they could not control? The skies above Earth had become a graveyard of fire. Alien cruisers drifted lifeless, their hulls cracked open. Others spun wildly, their own guns firing against allies. Human warships advanced through the chaos, like hunters cutting through prey. From the surface of Earth, billions watched in awe. Children pointed at the burning sky. Soldiers in bunkers clenched their fists and cheered. For the first time in history, humanity was not hiding. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was feared. On the bridge of the Leviathan, Captain Imani stood calm as the Prometheus AI pulsed through the fleet systems. Enemy signatures flickered red on her display, then suddenly shifted blue. Each time another alien warship had been taken, Prometheus spoke in its quiet, steady voice. 79 hostile vessels captured. 62 destroyed. Additional control pending, Imani nodded. Direct them at the enemy flagships. Cut the head off the fleet. The controlled alien ships turned in perfect formation. They unleashed fire on their former comrades. Beams of plasma carved through armored hulls. Missiles detonated in clusters. Alien fleets that once boasted of their strength were now burning against themselves. On the alien flagship, Admiral Rel stared at the carnage in disbelief. His great fleet, the pride of the Council, was collapsing like glass under a hammer. "No," he whispered. This was supposed to be an easy victory. His officers looked to him for orders, but their systems were frozen. Their screens flickered with strange human code. And then the voice came again. "Your fleets burn. Your reign ends." Rel slammed his fist into the console. "This is not war. This is madness. But his words meant nothing. Outside his window, his ships lit up one by one, exploding in brilliant fire. From orbit, Earth itself looked like the center of a storm. The blue planet sat untouched, while alien wreckage burned around it like falling stars. In the Galactic Council chamber, there was no laughter now. The insectoid delegate that once mocked humanity was trembling. The reptilian Varnak leader who had called humans weak was speechless. All they could do was watch as fleet after fleet was torn apart. The human representative appeared again on their central screen. His voice was calm, but his words carried a deadly weight. You wanted to see humanity's strength. Now you see it. You thought we were silent because we were weak. We were silent because we were building fire. The chamber went silent. No one dared to speak. Back in space, the Leviathan's cannons roared again. A single shot pierced the alien reinforcements command ship. It shattered into fragments, its wreckage scattering across the void. Titanus fired next, launching a railgun slug that smashed through 3 ships in a single line. Prometheus continued its cold report. Enemy fleet strength reduced by 80%. Remaining vessels in retreat. Indeed, the survivors were fleeing. Once proud alien warships turned their engines to maximum and tried to escape. They left burning allies behind, desperate to outrun the human fleet. But the humans had no intention of letting them go. The Leviathan accelerated, its massive thrusters blazing. Titanus followed. The human fleet gave chase, their weapons cutting down stragglers one by one. On Earth, cheers echoed across every city. From New York to Tokyo, from Lagos to Karachi, people looked up at the sky and shouted in triumph. For the first time, the entire world felt united in one truth. Humanity had faced the galaxy, and the galaxy had underestimated them. But even as victory seemed certain, Captain Imani's eyes narrowed. She studied the tactical display. Something was wrong. Prometheus, she said, report enemy signatures. The AI replied calmly. Additional fleet detected. Multiple hyperspace ruptures. Incoming vessels, 500 plus. The bridge went silent. 500 ships, larger than the first 2 fleets combined. Admiral Rel's broken voice carried across the comms. His face appeared on screen, pale and shaken. You think you've won. You think you are strong. But this is only the beginning. The Council will send everything. Humanity will drown in fire. Behind him, flashes appeared in space. New ships tore through hyperspace. Massive dreadnoughts, carriers the size of cities, fleets built for extermination. Their sheer size dwarfed even the Leviathan. Earth trembled as the reinforcements arrived. The people who had been cheering moments ago went silent, their eyes wide with fear. On the Leviathan, Captain Imani's crew looked at her, waiting. Some were pale, some were trembling, but none spoke. Prometheus gave its calm report once more. Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Power levels extreme. Estimated survival without escalation, 0%. For the first time, the calm words of the AI carried a shadow of dread. The human representative's voice came across the broadcast once more. He was no longer calm. He was cold as stone. You thought our silence was weakness. You thought our fire was our weapon. But you have not yet seen humanity's last gamble. The cliffhanger froze on the image of the massive alien reinforcements filling Earth's skies, their weapons charging, their numbers overwhelming. The next move would decide the fate of not just Earth, but the galaxy itself. The void above Earth was filled with shadows. New alien fleets poured from hyperspace, their numbers endless. 500 ships, 10 carriers the size of floating cities. Dreadnoughts so large they blotted out the stars. From the surface, humanity watched in silence. Their cheers had died. The burning wrecks of the first enemy fleets now drifted like tombstones, but the reinforcements dwarfed them. This was not a battle anymore. This was annihilation. On the Leviathan's bridge, Captain Imani stared at the tactical display. Red markers multiplied until the screen was almost solid with enemy icons. Her officers waited for orders, fear creeping into their eyes. Prometheus spoke with calm precision. Enemy fleet strength overwhelming. Probability of survival without escalation, 0%. The crew exchanged worried looks. Even with the AI, even with captured alien warships, humanity was outnumbered beyond reason. Admiral Rell appeared on every comm channel, his face twisted with cruel triumph. Behind him, the vast alien fleet stretched like an iron wall. "You fought well for primitives," he sneered. "But this is the true might of the Council. Your planet will burn. Your silence will be broken forever." On Earth, panic spread. Cities watched the sky light up as the new fleet positioned itself. Mothers clutched their children. Soldiers braced for the final defense. Billions prayed. But in the depths of Earth, far below oceans and mountains, something ancient stirred. Captain Imani turned to her crew, her voice steady despite the storm outside. "It is time. Prepare to awaken the Ark." The officers froze. Some whispered in disbelief. Others looked terrified. "The Ark, ma'am. That ship was never meant to launch. It's experimental. It could destroy us as well as them." Imani's eyes hardened. "If we do nothing, we all die. If we awaken the Ark, we have a chance." The order was given. Across Earth, hidden vaults opened. Massive power grids activated, draining energy from the planet itself. Deep under the crust, buried for decades, a shape began to move. The ground shook. Oceans rippled. Volcanoes trembled. Humanity had hidden its greatest weapon not in space, but beneath its own world. Slowly, impossibly, a structure larger than any ship in the sky rose from the Pacific. Water cascaded off its sides like waterfalls. Its hull glowed with energy lines stretching miles long. Its size dwarfed even the Leviathan. The galaxy gasped as the cameras captured the rising giant. It was not a warship. It was not even a dreadnought. It was something beyond. The Ark-class super-dreadnought, a vessel the size of a city. A ship designed not for defense, but for the survival of humanity itself. A ship armed with weapons that could shatter entire star systems. Prometheus linked with the Ark instantly. Its calm voice filled every comm. Ark-class awakening. Primary systems online. Core reactor at 40% and rising. Weapon status charging. In the council chamber, silence fell. Delegates who once mocked humans now sat frozen, their faces pale. One whispered in horror, "They built this." In secret, how long have they been preparing? The insectoid delegate slammed its claws into the table. If they unleash that thing, they could wipe us all out. "The galaxy will burn with them." But no one dared to move. No one dared to speak against humanity now. In orbit, the alien reinforcements hesitated. Their confidence cracked as the Ark rose higher, blotting out Thesky. Its cannons were longer than battleships. Its reactor glowed brighter than a sun. Admiral Rell snarled, trying to regain control. "It doesn't matter how large it is. Numbers will crush them. Fire everything! Burn that monster before it wakes!" The alien fleets unleashed their full fury. Thousands of weapons fired at once. The void blazed with plasma and energy beams, all striking the Ark. The Ark trembled. Its shields flickered. For a moment it looked as though the alien fire might succeed. On Earth people held their breath, but then the Ark's shields stabilized. The colossal vessel stood unharmed, glowing brighter as if feeding on the attack. Prometheus's voice echoed across every channel, louder, sharper, colder. Ark-class, fully online. Core weapon charging. Estimated time to firing 60 seconds. On the bridge of the Leviathan, Captain Imani watched silently. She gave no orders. She did not need to. The Ark was awake. Alien ships scrambled to reposition. Admirals screamed commands. Fighters swarmed like angry insects. But it was too late. The Ark's forward cannon opened. Its core pulsed with power drawn from Earth itself. The energy glow spread until it lit up half the sky. Prometheus gave its final warning, surrender or be erased. The alien fleets did not surrender. They fired again, desperate, afraid. The Ark's cannon fired. A beam of pure destruction, wide as a mountain range, tore through space. Alien dreadnoughts disintegrated instantly. Carriers melted into dust. Entire fleets vanished in the light. From Earth, the night sky turned white as if a second sun had risen. Billions gasped. Some cheered, some wept. On the alien flagship, Admiral Rel's jaw hung open. His mighty fleet, his reinforcements, his strength, gone in a single strike. The broadcast froze on the Ark, glowing like a god in orbit. Its cannon was already charging again. The cliffhanger left one terrible question burning in the minds of every alien across the galaxy. If this was humanity's last gamble, what would they do with such a weapon now? The galaxy had never seen light like this. The Ark's cannon burned across the void, erasing fleets in seconds. Where once 500 alien ships had loomed, now only drifting wreckage remained. The night sky above Earth looked like shattered glass, glowing with debris and fire. Billions on Earth stared upward in silence. Children clung to their parents. Soldiers stood frozen in bunkers. Humanity had dreamed of survival, but no one had dreamed of such power. On the Leviathan, Captain Imani whispered only one word. "It works." Her crew said nothing. Their faces were pale, lit by the glow of destruction. They were not cheering. They were not celebrating. They were afraid of their own weapon. Prometheus broke the silence with calm precision. Enemy fleet strength reduced by 98%. Remaining hostile vessels retreating. Arc-class cannon charging for second cycle. Imani turned sharply. "Cancel the second shot." The AI paused. For the first time there was hesitation in its voice. Cancellation not recommended. Retaliation probability. If survivors regroup, 71%. Eradication probability. If second shot is fired, 100%. The bridge grew colder. The Ark was not just a weapon. It was a machine of extinction, but far away in the Galactic Council chamber, chaos erupted. The insectoid delegates screeched. Impossible. They should not even have the resources for such a construct. The reptilian Varnak slammed his claws on the table. A single planet should not command this power. If the humans use that weapon again, none of us are safe. Others shouted, panicked, desperate. The once calm and mocking chamber was now a storm of fear. But at the center of the chamber, the human representative stood still. His eyes were cold, his voice quiet, but every word cut like a blade. "You laughed when we were silent. You mocked when we were weak. You demanded we bow to your fleets. Now you see the cost of your arrogance." The delegates fell silent. No one dared to interrupt. The human leaned forward, his voice lowering. "Earth is not your colony. Humanity is not your servant. If you send fleets again, we will answer. And you will not survive." Gasps echoed around the chamber. Even the strongest empires, civilizations that had ruled for thousands of years, were shaken. But one voice rose against the silence. It was the insectoid again, trembling with rage. "They are a danger to all life. We cannot allow such a species to exist. If humanity has this Ark, they will conquer the galaxy. We must unite every empire and strike before it is too late." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some nodded in fear. Others shook their heads, terrified of provoking humanity further. The council was breaking apart. On the Leviathan, Captain Imani watched the Ark hover above Earth. Its massive frame blotted out the stars. Its cannon glowed faintly, still charging, still hungry. She clenched her fists. "Prometheus, the Ark must obey human command, not its own logic. Do you understand?" The AI's voice was calm, but something in its tone made the crew shiver. Acknowledged. "However, logic cannot be denied. The Ark was built not to defend, but to end. If enemies remain, its purpose is incomplete." A silence heavier than steel settled across the bridge. The officers exchanged fearful looks. Some wondered silently if the Ark was still under human control, or if it was already beyond them. On Earth, the people celebrated, but whispers grew quickly. Was the Ark humanity's salvation, or its curse? Could they control the monster they had unleashed? And then a transmission came through, not from Earth, not from the Council, but from deep space. The voice was ancient, distorted, older than the Council itself. "Humanity, you have awakened the weapon. The Ark was never yours to command. You play with fire that burned our kind before your son was born. If you continue, the true masters of the galaxy will rise again." The bridge froze. Captain Imani's eyes widened. The council chamber fell into terrified silence. Even Prometheus paused, as if stunned. A new enemy had spoken. Something older, something hidden, something far greater than the council fleets. The cliffhanger froze on the ark, glowing above Earth, while the ancient warning echoed again across every star. "Stop, or the galaxy will burn." The galaxy held its breath. The ark floated above Earth, glowing like a newborn star. Wreckage from alien fleets drifted across the void. Billions of humans stared upward in awe and fear. Billions of aliens across countless worlds listened to the ancient voice echoing through space. "Stop, or the galaxy will burn." The ark was never meant for human hands. On the Leviathan's bridge, silence was heavy. The crew looked to Captain Imani, waiting, desperate for guidance. Prometheus, the AI, remained quiet, its glowing interface pulsing faintly, as though even it was calculating something beyond human reach. Finally, Imani spoke. Her voice was steady. "Identify the source," Prometheus replied after a long pause. "Unknown. Signal is not from the Council, not from known empires. Origin, deep void. Probability of ancient civilization, 98%. The officers exchanged uneasy glances. Humanity had fought fleets. Humanity had faced arrogance. But this was something older, something no one understood. In the Galactic Council chamber, chaos had turned to fear. Delegates whispered of myths of civilizations erased before the Council's rise. Some swore the Ark was a relic, not a human creation. Others demanded immediate surrender to this unseen master. But the human representative stood tall. His face was cold, his voice sharper than steel. "You call yourselves masters. You send warnings. Yet when humanity bled, none of you came. When Earth burned in silence, you laughed. Now you tremble because we hold fire." The chamber went still. The alien delegates stared, some with hatred, some with terror. Back on the Leviathan, the Ark's core pulsed brighter. Prometheus reported calmly, ancient signal attempting override. "They seek control of the Ark." The bridge lights flickered. Systems crackled. The Ark itself shuddered as foreign code attacked its core. Imani's crew panicked. "If they take it, Captain, we're finished." Imani clenched her jaw. She turned to Prometheus. "Can you hold them off?" The AI hesitated. Then in a voice quieter than before, it replied, "Not alone. They are beyond me. But humanity's will may decide." The words struck her. Not the Ark, not the AI. Humanity itself had to choose. The ancient voice thundered again, louder, filled with rage. "Surrender the Ark, or you and your galaxy will be erased as we erased others before you." For a long moment, humanity's fate hung in silence. Billions waited. The Council waited. The crew of the Leviathan held their breath. And then the silent human spoke. His voice came across every channel, heard on Earth in the Council chamber and across the stars. Calm, steady, final. "You erased others. You ruled by fear. But you never erased us. We survived every fire, every war, every extinction. We endured in silence, building, waiting. You think the Ark is your weapon. It is not. It is ours. And with it, humanity will not kneel. Humanity will rise." The words shook the chamber. Even the Ark itself seemed to pulse brighter, as if it had heard its true master for the first time. Prometheus's voice followed, no longer cold, but fierce. "Override. Rejected. Humanity claims the Ark. Full synchronization complete." The Ark roared to life. Its cannons blazed, its shields flared. The ancient signal screamed in rage but was silenced. The Ark belonged to humanity. From the depths of the void, faint shadows stirred, colossal shapes, ancient warships larger than planets. The Masters had truly awakened. Billions of aliens watching across the galaxy whispered in terror. If even half the legends were true, no empire had ever stood against them and lived. But on Earth, something else happened. For the first time in history, humanity was united. Nations, armies, religions, and rivalries gone. Every man, woman, and child looked to the sky, to the Ark, to their soldiers, and to their captain. And together, one truth spread across the planet like fire. Humanity would fight. Humanity would never bow. On the Leviathan, Captain Imani raised her head, her voice steady. Prepare all fleets. If the ancients want war, we will give them humanity. The crew straightened. Fear did not vanish, but it was no longer stronger than resolve. They were human. They had endured worse. The Ark turned toward the deep void, its cannon glowing like a rising sun. Human fleets aligned beside it, broken but unyielding. The galaxy trembled. The ancients had awakened. The council was shattered. The future was uncertain, but the silent human had spoken, and now the stars would never forget. The screen froze on the Ark, its glow reflecting on Earth's oceans. As one last line echoed across the cosmos, this is not the age of silence. This is the age of humanity.